Well, just to kind of follow up on a thought that Bill mentioned earlier, there's no question that at some elemental level, employers are selfish, and there is a recognition that we need a workforce as we go forward, or else we might as well just kind of hang it up now. Um, when we look, I can't say that this was the principal reason why we engaged on this journey, but it was at least partially part of that. When we look at where our employees in our future going to come from, you know, everyone knows the statistics about high school graduation rates and college graduation rates, but when you look at someone like PNC or any company that is located principally in major urban centers, the high school graduation rates are even phenomenally lower than the national rates. We have many places where we have substantial investments where the high school graduation rate might not be 50%. So you start to think about how can we begin to affect that, and the further and further we got into this, that did become a motivating factor for us. There's no question that as we have been on this journey over the last 13 years, it has become a sense of pride for our employees, and does have a lot to do with employee retention. It has a lot to do with customer retention. Again, selfishly, the research shows us that children who have access to high quality early childhood education, as they have greater academic achievement and attainment, they're more likely to become bank customers and take out a mortgage and buy a car. And, we know all that is out there. Again, I can't say that this has been a business development endeavor, but it is out there as, as kind of one of the many reasons why we engage in this. I think it's also true that large corporate, the business community generally has always had a philanthropic interest and a desire to engage in the community in one way or another. PNC, I think, is illustrative of a movement over the last decade or more of companies who are saying, for a long time we've been giving a little bit of money to a lot of things. Maybe if we gave more money to a smaller group of things, we could be more impactful and engage more as a company in the conversation around that issue, whether it's early childhood or literacy, or the list goes on. But I think I think that that then imbues a culture. Bill made the very important point that our former CEO Jim Rohr used to talk about all the time: the average CEO tenure being 4 years. They're only going to get to make one or two really big decisions. And they got to be really careful and comfortable that the decision they're making is the one. And so to sustain something like the PNC Grow Up Great program, or what Bill has going on at his company and others, it has to become part of the culture, so that each successive CEO, member of the executive committee or whatever, has already kind of bought into the program.